Hello, I am an astral pilot. For those who have been with me for a while will remember that I created a video where I designed my own fan-made evolutions to one of the starter Pokémon of the Paldea region, before the release of Scarlet and Violet. Today, we look back into the world of Pokémon in order to fix one part of this game that I found lacking. For those who don't know, Scarlet and Violet is the most recent installment of the Pokémon franchise, and unlike previous games, this game is completely open world, but it keeps the common storyline that these games follow by splitting it down 3 different paths that the player can go through in any order they choose. Those paths include Victory Road, which follows the player fighting gym leaders to challenge the Pokemon League, Path of Legends, which is unanimously agreed to have the best story out of all routes, and what we'll be talking about today, Starfall Street, in which you take on the evil team of this region, Team Star, a group of delinquents that attend your school. Now, this video is not about the story of this route, as I actually liked most of it in... Hey! Get out of here! This video isn't about you. Anyway, as I was saying, the story was fine for the most part, and I actually ended up connecting to most of the leaders. Sure, there were places that I could do better, but we're not talking about that today. What we're actually talking about is the gameplay of these sections. During these sections, you fight a horde of Team Star grunts in what's called a Star Barrage battle, and you have to defeat a certain amount of them before the time runs out. Sounds interesting, right? Well, here's the problem. It's way too easy. You see, you don't actually have to fight each individual grunt in a normal battle. What actually happens is they send out a Pokemon, then you send out your Pokemon using the Let's Go battle function, essentially making it like those idle mobile games. The only thing that you have to worry about is your team fainting. However, there are multiple vending machines that work as healing stations to heal your team back up. If all damage you took was permanent, then maybe it would be harder, since it would incentivize you to actually change out your team composition, instead of just having one Pokemon that is super effective in winning automatically. However, I have a better idea. This idea comes from something that is established in universe. The reason that you're going to these bases and challenging these squads to Star Barrage battles is because if you defeat a leader, then that leader has to step down from their post. But one thing that didn't make sense to me is why you have to fight all the grunts before you have to fight the leader. Whenever you get to a base, you're told that you have to draw them out by defeating their grunts, but no reason as to why they get to hide, even though we were told if we challenge them, they had to accept it. Or why they decide to fight you even though you don't defeat every grunt, and they just give up after you defeat 30 Pokemon, which will only be like 5 full teams, or like 15 grunts, because you know none of these bozos actually chooses to have 6 Pokemon. Which doesn't match with the amount of people we see in these battles. Like there's just a bunch of people standing here doing nothing. Why are you even here? So here's my idea. One rule that used to be in every installment in this franchise was, if 2 trainers' eyes meet, that means it's a battle. However, in this game they break this rule, and even have the first trainer you're able to battle comment on how this rule doesn't make sense. So what if Team Star actually follows this rule? What if, whenever you walk into a Team Star base, you are forced to challenge whatever trainer you see, turning these sections from 3-minute minigames to longer stealth-based dungeons, where you try to get to the leader of Team Star and challenge them by making eye contact with them. The main reason I thought of this is because the areas of the map that this section takes place in are actually really good for stealth-based level design and would have some variety, but are just incredibly underutilized in their current state. For example, the area that the Fairy Leader battle takes place in is on a beach with a giant lighthouse, What if your goal was to get to the top of the lighthouse without getting spotted, with also having the ability to take multiple paths to your goal? Maybe even the lighthouse itself can spot the player and be another danger. There's also the base of the fighting type division, which takes place on one path to the top of this large mountain, or the base of the dark division, which takes place in this valley, where they also have blocked the way past before you can defeat them, forcing you to fight this one before you're able to pass. Maybe they could have some connection to the other roads, as you could find someone like Nemona arguing with some grunts before you clear the dungeon. Here's how I would imagine it working. Let's take the Dark Squad as an example. When you challenge a Team Star base now, and instead of being met with a star barrage, it suddenly becomes night. Your task would be to challenge the leader of this squad before it becomes daytime. During this time, all Team Star grunts in this area are forced to use flashlights to see, which would act as their vision cone. Enter this cone of light and you will be forced to fight them. However, if there are multiple grunts around you, then they will also join in the fun and fight you in double battles. Double battles are an incredibly underutilized mechanic in any game. But in this battle especially, the only times you can do double battles that I remember at least is during the ghost type gym. This would also make it so that you don't want to get into a battle even more, as even though they would still be incredibly easy battles, this would make the battles last even longer, which would be dangerous as this section would still have a timer. The only reason that the grunts can't see the player is because it's nighttime after all. So once it becomes daytime again, you'll be clearly visible and be kicked out soon after. If you are able to make eye contact with the leader, then you'll complete the challenge and be able to challenge the leader. From then on, the battle will work like normal, with each of them having their boss Revavoom. Also, I know this might be a big request, but wouldn't it be cool if we got different types of vehicles as their Revavoom boss? Like, maybe a motorcycle, an off-road car, maybe even a helicopter for that fairy guy because that guy's rich. The last thing I want to mention are the vending machines that are used as a quick Pokemon Center. I think that these should stay, and maybe even give them a reason for them being there. One idea that I had is that you can't take any items inside the base, because it would be cumbersome and the items inside would rattle about, so the only way you can heal is by using their vending machines. And that's the concept. Bit of a quicker video today. I've been busy recently, but I didn't want to leave you guys without a video for too long. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe. Also, if you have any ideas for future video topics, please leave them in the comments section down below. I hope you have a nice day.